this book, I have distilled this information in such a way that a listener wanting to change will be able to succeed. Interestingly, when working with patients, I often hear myself repeating sections from this book, word for word, although I would hate to make myself obsolete. The truth is that there are fundamental aspects of self-coaching that lend themselves quite well to a self-help format. In certain ways, such as self-reliance and self-empowerment, there are distinct advantages to managing your own self-coaching program of change. These, then, were the goals that I set out to accomplish when I first introduced my book a few years ago, and from the countless responses I've received worldwide, I know that my goals have been realized. Whether you're anxious or depressed, self-coaching can teach you how to do what's necessary to eliminate your problems. Our minds, as well as our bodies, deteriorate if we allow ourselves to follow destructive patterns. That's what anxiety and depression are. They are patterned, negative, self-defeating habits. Self-coaching teaches you two things. One, how to break the destructive patterns that distort your thinking and leave you vulnerable to depression and anxiety. And two, how to replace these thoughts of insecurity with self-trust. Remember, it is the loss of trust with self and with life that underwrites anxiety and depression. Self-reliance. There are obvious advantages to having a personal coach, aka therapist. But keep in mind the distinct advantage of self-coaching. From the start, you have only yourself to rely on. You either work hard or you don't. You either improve or you don't. And this is as it should be. Trust me on this. With anxiety and depression, it is absolutely critical to believe in your own resources to heal yourself. The sooner you take full responsibility for your program of change, the sooner you take back your life. Anyone who insists on looking for a guru, a shrink, a pill, or even a book to do their work will ultimately fail, because no one but you can ever topple your destructive habits. When you look for someone to heal you, to take care of you, to make you better, then, like a child, you remain without the full potential power of your maturity. It is exactly this power of personal maturity and trust that self-coaching promotes. At first, relying on yourself for what you need may seem like a daunting proposition, especially if you're depressed. I understand this concern clearly and have made every attempt to anticipate your inertia. Ever try to push a car that's stalled? You put your back into it, straining every muscle, pushing until finally you begin to feel a slight movement. Then you push a bit more, and the car goes a bit faster, a bit easier. You've been straining against inertia. Objects at rest, and people, and anxiety, and depression resist movement. Your initial efforts will be the most difficult, but with proper encouragement, motivation, and direction, inertia can and will yield to momentum. Momentum is that glorious feeling of movement that becomes easier and easier once you get started. You'll see. Training suggestion. Inner experience, outer experience. Learning to get out of your head. Periodically throughout the day, begin to listen to your inner talk. Whatever your thoughts are, for now don't judge or criticize, just be aware of your thinking. Once you've followed your thinking for a few moments, see whether you can switch from following these thoughts to participating in your world. This could be any activity, listening to music, looking at a flower, or twiddling your thumbs. Whatever you try, do it as completely as you can. If, for example, you decide to wash a dish, wash it with complete attention. Feel the soapy water, the squeak of the dish as you scour it, the dragging of the towel against the damp plate as you dry it. Rather than thinking about what you're doing, try to just feel it. Try to get out of your head and into your experience. This exercise is an important prelude to the eventual ability of learning to let go of destructive thinking.